Today I'm going to give you guys a first look and a full review of the Simder SD4050Pro. Now this is a really cool machine as it's a 10-in-1, as you guys can see right here, which means we're going to be able to do all the processes of welding, including high frequency TIG, and it's a plasma cutter, and it's dual voltage. It's small, it's lightweight. I'm going to give you the specs, and we're going to test out all the features right now. The first process that we're going to test is the TIG, and it's a high frequency TIG. And for those of you that aren't super familiar with TIG, the reason why high frequency is important is because you can start the arc without having to touch the tungsten to the material. If you don't have high frequency, you have to do a lift arc. So you're starting the tungsten and lifting it, and that's like dirtying the tungsten from the start, which isn't really something you want. So we're going to be able to do high quality welds, and we are going to start with some 1/4 inch thick stainless steel coupons. Might need to turn the post flow up a little bit, but that's easy to do. We just did a little weave here, and as you guys can see, it's got that gold color on here, and that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see gold is the best, maybe some purple, and you can see that gold in there. It's a little cold in the shop today, so the material is starting off a little colder, but as you can see, that's a pretty consistent little weave right there. I'm going to play around with this a little bit more. Alright, so as you guys can see, played around with a few different settings here. This one in the middle ran a little cold. This one ran pretty good, and then the material's hotter now. That's why you're starting to see that blue color come in on that weave. And this one right here is looking pretty good. So far, I'm really happy with how it's TIG welding on stainless steel. It'll pretty much be the same on regular steel, so we're not going to TIG weld that. For those of you that are new to the channel and you don't know, what I do full time is I'm a sanitary stainless steel TIG welder, so that's why I wanted to try this out first. And if I had one gripe, it would be that to activate the high frequency, to turn it on and off, you have a button here on the torch head, and which is fine. The only problem personally is it doesn't give you quite as much control if you had a foot pedal, which is what traditionally you use, because that lets you vary the amperage. You slam it, you're giving it more amps, and you can adjust this way. If you set it to 100 amps, you're at 100 amps the whole time, and you can't vary that. Not a big deal. It still works great, as you guys can see, but that would be my only suggestion on the TIG side so far, would be maybe to offer a foot pedal as an option, and I'm not sure if Simder is going to offer that later, but either way, you're still going to be able to get any job that you need done. With this, I've done plenty of jobs with a button like this. So next up, let's jump into one of the processes that start making sparks. Let's do, I haven't stick welded in a long time. Let's do some stick. Alright, so I promise once upon a time I was certified to stick weld structural steel, but that was, man, 9 years ago, and I haven't really done much stick welding since, but yeah, this is some 6013 rod that I just picked up at the local Tractor Supply just to run these tests, and actually also did a fillet weld here, And I was actually really impressed with how smooth it ran. The versatility of this machine, from being able to TIG weld stainless steel and then jump over and run some stick rod, makes it really versatile. And something I was thinking about using this machine for different projects at my place, and it being dual voltage. So if I need to go somewhere where I don't have the 220 available, I can run it on 110. I can stick weld if it's windy outside, you know. That's what makes this machine really versatile, is you can do all the different processes. And, you know, even with just stick welding, you can stick weld stainless, you can stick weld aluminum, steel, obviously. And so just that alone is versatile. But so far I'm pretty impressed. Let's throw some MIG wire in this thing and see how it MIGs. I'm sure it's going to run pretty good based off how everything else is going, but let's do some MIG. Let's cut some stuff with some plasma, and then let's do a real detailed overview of everything, and I'll give you guys my final impressions. Right out of the box, first settings that I picked ran really good. I'm really impressed with this. All right, we got the plasma hooked up with the air compressor. We're gonna make a couple cuts on some 1/4-inch pieces of stainless, mild steel, and aluminum. I'll let you guys know how it cuts. Plasma cutter cut really great. You can see here I had it cranked up all the way, and it'll cut thicker material than this 1/4 inch, but I just thought since I had the 3 different types of material in 1/4 inch, I thought it'd be a good way to go. And you can see with the aluminum how it came out. The stainless cut pretty clean. You guys know when you plasma cut stainless that kind of has a little bit more slag like that, but that cut nice and smooth. And here was the mild steel. As far as the plasma cutter portion, it runs great. For those of you that have never used a plasma cutter before, you do have to have your own air source. So usually that's an air compressor for most people. Even a small air compressor would be able to run a plasma cutter like this. You just might not be able to do long, big cuts, but if you're doing short, small stuff, even a little tiny compressor will get the job done. To give you guys a quick overview of the connections on this machine. And one thing that I like is the MIG gun is here, and you don't ever have to disconnect it for anything. Most people are probably going to be MIG welding the most, so this stays. Then this port right here is where you hook up the plasma or the TIG, and then when you're plasmaing, you put the ground on this one, but you can take this off and move this over here, either to positive or negative, depending on what type of polarity that you want. So I'm going to put this back on the plasma cut. Now, the control panel is really easy to use and understand. Pretty much select your welding type over here, your gas, and then you got some additional settings over here as far as like pre-flow, post-flow, trigger settings and everything. And then you have a gas purge and an inch for the MIG wire. And then everything else is just done off these 2 knobs, and then you can access a few more settings via this button. It was super easy to use. I didn't even have to read the manual. I was able to figure everything out. On this side, you have, this is where you put your MIG wire, and this can take the bigger spools with this that comes on it, or you take that off and you can run the little baby spools if you want. I just picked this up real quick so I didn't have to pull my MIG wire to my other machine. And you can change between positive and negative there for flex core or MIG. And then the back here you got your water separator regulator here. This is where your air compressor or TIG gas will come in. That's kind of interesting that you put both into the same thing, but that works good. And then back over here is your MIG gas. So I need to make a better cart for this in the future. Ideally, if possible, I would probably want a cart that can hold 2 bottles, so I don't have to swap bottles around between MIG and TIG. But I'm going to be pulling this machine around a lot anyway, so swapping bottles is not really that big of a deal. So as you guys saw me use the Simder SD4050Pro, it can pretty much do anything that you need as far as welding goes, and it's also a plasma cutter, which, who is this machine for? Well, I can see this being used for entry level, people who just want to get into welding fabrication. I can also see it for people like myself who are a bit more advanced and are looking for an all-in-one machine. And I really think that that the compact design of this machine, and it's very light and versatile, is actually an insane value. Right now, if you guys are interested, this is actually on Kickstarter, and I'll have the link down in the description below. But you can pick this thing up for $549, which is a really great price considering everything that you're going to get. You're going to spend, if you go and get just a MIG machine that's comparable, you're probably going to be in that $400 or $500 range just for a MIG machine, let alone you're getting TIG, stick, and a plasma cutter. So one reason why you would want to go and pick this up on Kickstarter is after this Kickstarter, it is going to be up to the full retail price of $799. So right now, this $549 price, if you're looking to get a new machine, if you're looking to get into welding, fabrication, this is a great starter machine. And even for more advanced people, being able to jump around between the MIG, then you're TIGging something, and then, like I said, maybe you got to take this out and build a fence and outdoors, and you can run flex core, you can stick weld it, you can run on 220, 110. Pretty much the possibilities with this machine are almost endless. So you can weld any type of material in almost any condition for an insanely good price. That kind of sums up my thoughts on the Simder 4050. And not just my thoughts, you guys saw me use it. We produced some high quality welds, we produced some good cuts. I'm gonna keep using this machine right now. Got a few more projects I need to do, so I'll see you guys in the next one.